Alright, what's going on, everybody? So, just a quick video to give my final judgment on the Xbox One controller. As many of you may remember, I said I was gonna wait till I played more games to give it a more intensive test to really get what I feel about the controller before I give a final, judgment and review on it. So I played, Rise, Dead Rising 3, and obviously now I've played plenty of the Titanfall beta, and that's the kind of game I was waiting for first before I gave my review on it, like a first-person shooter that kind of, you really get a full grasp on the controller. So, I was waiting for that type of game, but also, seeing how it performed with Rise and Dead Rising 3 also helped. So pretty much, and by the way, I did get Forza 5 in the mail yesterday. I'll probably live stream this sometime during the week. Got it through Leap Trade. So yeah, I'm always promoting Leap Trade. Use leaptrade.com, go sign up for better values on your trade-ins. Use me as a referral. So yeah. So the Xbox One controller, I have no problem with it. I can't see, I know a lot of people have basically said that it is a step down from the Xbox 360 controller. But, I'm a person, I guess what it is I think I just have a lot more tolerance, and I just adapt way easier when it comes to most things, especially controllers. I mean, I'm a person who, I preferred the DualShock controller over the Xbox controller always, and I still do. So, when most people complained about certain things about the DualShock 3 controller or the DualShock 4, the DualShock 3, the DualShock in general was just always a good controller to me. So, based on that, it's hard for me to find anything wrong with this controller if I liked that controller. It was always comfortable to me. So, one thing I know people complained about was the sticks being too small or too loose. Yeah, both being too small and too loose. But like I said, I come from preferring the DualShock controller, which people say is smaller and made for small hands, even though I have huge hands and it's never been a problem for me. So obviously it's not going to bother me on here if it doesn't bother me on there. Also, another thing people said, the clicking D-pad isn't that, it shouldn't be that way. Shouldn't be like, I guess, digital click or whatever. But I think that's the only thing that'll only really matter if you're playing a fighting game, and I don't buy fighters on the Xbox, because we know with the Xbox 360 controller, that's one thing people dreaded, was playing fighting games with that controller because of the D-pad wasn't very good for it. And like I said, I wouldn't buy a fighter on the Xbox One, and I would just buy it on a PlayStation just because it seems better to buy a fighter on PlayStation. The controllers are better made for it, or you could just use a fight stick. So that's the only situation where the directional buttons would be a problem. The bumpers and the triggers, not a problem for me. It was fine to me. Never once encountered a problem where I was like, oh man, I wish something on this controller was different. Nah, I can't find any problem with it so far based on any of the games I played. As far as it being too loose, nah, I've never felt like the analog sticks were too loose either. Listen, I'm just very I adapt well to any type of situation controller. Except for some of those Nintendo controllers. Them shits throw you for a fucking loop, historically. But, generally, even those controllers, I've never had a problem with necessarily enough to, enough for it to bother me. So I can't see, I think another problem people said with this controller is it's too, everything is too tight together. Never bothered me. Yeah, we know it uses, AA batteries. Yeah, I think they could have went with, the rechargeable method. But, that's not a huge problem. Barely, I haven't, these are the same batteries that I think it came with these batteries. These are the same batteries that, I had in there since I got it. I never had to replace them yet, so it's whatever. Not a bother to me. Down here, you know, you plug in the stock mic that comes with the Xbox One. That mic is okay. You know, it feels fine. You know, having it on the controller and using it and using the controller at the same time. Yeah, like I said, no real complaints. I had no real complaints about the DualShock 4 either. Only complaint I had about the DualShock 4 was that the rubber strips. You know, there's been a consistent and reported problem of the rubber ripping off and things like that. And you know, that's something we said Sony needed to adjust. So yeah, I mean, that's it, people. Controller's fine to me. All the other you know, complaints that people have been having, I guess you would have to. I guess maybe if I preferred the Xbox 360 controller and came to this one, maybe then I would have a problem with it. But I have a 360 controller which I use on certain PC games, so you know, I use all of these controllers. Like, there's not one controller of these I don't use, and I don't really have a problem with any of them. So I guess I just have a high tolerance for different types of controllers and tolerance, and I just adapt better because I'm a beast. So yeah, that's it, y'all. I'm out of here.